Mike, Michigan at USC. I think this is sneaky. Maybe the most important game for the playoffs of the weekend. I think Indiana Oregon is going to be a more fun game, so I'm more excited about that one. But this is one, it's probably the most important playoff one for the Big Ten because both of these teams could make the playoffs, but USC with kind of their difficult schedule coming up, they really need to win this one. Michigan not as much, but still, you would like to get this win, and that would really solidify things for them. USC is at home, and they are favored by 2.5 on FanDuel. The over under on this one, offensive explosion, 57.5. I know USC has a really good offense, but I gotta tell you that just seems a little high for this Michigan defense, and I'm wondering if there's something there about this Michigan defense why Vegas just isn't really all that confident in them, or if they're just that confident in this awesome USC passing attack under Lincoln Riley. And honestly, Waymon Jordan and those guys in the backfield have been really good as well. Mike, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think this is a clash of styles. Who can win out? Whether it be Michigan winning in the trenches and establishing their run game and not allowing USC to stretch it out, or does USC put Michigan into obvious passing situations with their quick strike passing attack? I personally think USC kind of has the edge here in terms of strength on strength, weakness on weakness. But this is a game that I could see kind of going either way. But give me the Trojans in the Coliseum to air it out against Michigan in this one.
Yeah, I think this is one where a lot of people are going to pick USC, and I get that, right? I kind of lean USC in this one as well. And in the preseason, I said I think that Michigan's going to lose 3 games. I think they're going to lose at Oklahoma, at USC, and at Nebraska. Now, the Nebraska one did not work out, and a lot of the reasons why was because Michigan just dominated the lines of scrimmage in that game. Their offensive line is not what it used to be, but it's still strong. They still have a really good run game, and Justice Haynes can break it off and get a big touchdown just about at any time. And I know Michigan's secondary has been a little suspect this season, but Jair Hill has got his hand on balls a lot this season. So, and Rod Moore, I think, is going to be really important as the free safety in this one as well. So, my biggest question is if the Michigan wide receivers can sustain their improvement we saw last game versus questionable cornerbacks for USC. Kamari Ramsey's going to be back from this one, as long as Michigan doesn't have any food poisoning or anything like that. But he's going to be back for this one. And I think that that's really important that these three safeties they have in Fitzgerald, Ramsey, and Pierce are going to be back because all three of those guys are good in coverage. It's just the outside guys, right? Does Michigan start utilizing Andrew Marsh a little bit more? He wasn't really utilized until this last game against Wisconsin. Does Donovan McCulley continue to show up? He showed up big in this last game against Wisconsin and against Nebraska. Didn't really show up as much in, or no, the Oklahoma game. Sorry, not the Nebraska game. He showed up in that Oklahoma game pretty well. I believe he had 91 yards in that one. And so, yeah, 7+ targets against Wisconsin and Oklahoma. So he had 91 yards in that one. Or no, I might be getting the other game mixed up. Anyway, point is, Michigan has improved their wide receivers on the outside, at least last week, and we'll see if that improvement can continue because USC right now, their cornerbacks on the outside are just the weakest part of their defense. I'm sorry, and I don't think I'm bringing any news here to the USC fans, but USC does have the passing attack as long as they get Elijah Page back. He's apparently dressed for practice, so we'll see. As long as they get Elijah Page back and the new center that they have continues to be playing well, it'll give USC a chance for sure. I say a chance. Both teams have a great chance to win this game. But yeah, what's your question, Mike?
My question is, can the Michigan passing attack stack up in what is expected to be a shootout in this game? And
Mm-hmm.
when Bryce Underwood last week, I think he had his season high in passing yards. But there's been plenty of games where they didn't really have to rely on that passing attack to win games. And when they were kind of thrust into a situation where they needed a drive late in games against Oklahoma, they couldn't put it together. And so, can they kind of get over that hump and when they need it, actually use the passing attack to their advantage? I personally don't think that they're quite there yet, but they certainly have the talent, and I think Bryce Underwood will continue to elevate his game as his career goes on. But I just think it might be a little too early for him to kind of carry a college football team right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I want to ask clarification. Trojan fight. Oh wait, you put it down here. He said Page was dressed for every practice for Illinois week and then didn't play. Okay, I had that wrong. I heard that he had dressed for practice the first time. The article I read. Maybe I read that wrong. I apologize. So we'll see if Page is back. Sounds like he's dressed, so he's getting close at the very least. But it'll be interesting for sure. Yeah, they don't have left tackle Elijah Page. I do not like that matchup at all, and I would think even stronger in Michigan's favor in this one. So we'll see. But yeah, so I do wonder, Mike, do you think like how good do you think the passing attack from Michigan needs to be? Because Justice Haynes has been fantastic, and USC, while the corners are their biggest weakness of their defense, Michigan should be able to run on just about anybody. They they ran on Ohio State last year a little bit, and probably not as much as some people would have liked, but they had the big runs at the time they needed them. I mean, this is a Michigan team that seems to get the big runs when they need them. Do we think Bryce Underwood needs to 200 plus yards? You think he just needs to be consistent and competent? I mean, what do you think?
I just think he needs to be somebody that can reliably convert on 3rd and 7 in the passing attack when they've stacked the box and kind of dared him to go get it in the air. And he's done that at times, but he hasn't done it consistently enough. Where I feel like in a close game that can be relied on with any sort of repetition. So that's kind of where I see the advantage for USC is the ability to kind of convert on 3rd and long through the air.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good point there. John asked, "Why is this game going to be a shootout? Can you tell me that this is the best defense USC has played all year?" Yeah, and I think that's kind of the big thing we're talking about right now is that if it is a shootout, Michigan needs to hold up with them, right? I don't know if it's going to be a shootout or not. I'm taking the under in this game, so yeah, I'm not taking the over, but I do think if this game does go over, these questions that we're asking of Michigan need to be answered. The lowest point total USC has had this season has been 32 points. So I don't see Michigan holding them to, 17 or 20 or anything like that. Maybe they do. I'll eat my words if they do. But it's definitely going to be interesting. I don't think it's going to be like a 45 to 38 shootout or anything, but I do think we'll probably see scores close to 30, and that's where I have my prediction at. I have this one being 30-27. I'm taking Michigan in this one. I think the defense is going to come up with a big play when they need it, and I think Justice Haynes is going to have a big run in this game. I don't know if it's going to be at the very end of the game when it looks like Michigan is dead, like last year, but I do think that Justice Haynes is going to get a big run at some point in this game. And Bryce Underwood, I don't know if he throws for like 250 yards or anything like that, but I do think he's competent enough and does a good enough job. I'd say competent. He's much more talented than competent. I'm just saying in this game, he does enough, doesn't turn the ball over, stuff like that, to be able to get the win here. Mike, what's your score prediction?
So I also think kind of piggybacking on what you said, if you think Michigan wins this game, it's probably because they're able to kind of leverage their strengths along both the defensive line and the offensive line and kind of win the time of possession game. So that means it's probably going to be more of a grinded out type game where Michigan sustains longer drives and is a little bit low scoring. So if you think Michigan's going to win, I like that two-leg parlay of the under as well. But if you think USC is going to win, it's probably because USC is able to kind of get these quick strikes and force Michigan to try and keep up with them in a track meet. So that's kind of where I see things going. I have USC winning 34-24. So I have USC covering and the over hitting just barely.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point by you. If this one goes over, it's most likely a USC win. If this one stays under, it's most likely a Michigan win because those two teams are going to play that way, right? That's the way they kind of want to have this one work. So we'll see, and maybe I am too down on the USC defense. Maybe USC holds Michigan to 20, 24 points, something like that. But we will have to see. Zach in this one had Michigan winning as well. He had them winning 27-24. So Michigan covers the spread there, and he has the under as well. So Mike picks the over. USC wins. Me and Zach picked the under. Michigan wins. Goes with what you said
Yep.
there. So all right, we will see how it works out.